You've got this. Hello and welcome to the 3-day Leading Lady Level Up. I am so excited for this. In all honesty, I was going to do the whole thing stood up, and then I was like, I'm a bit too overexcited. I need to sit down and ground and center myself. So what I'm going to do is talk you through, first of all, I'm going to do a little introduction. I'd love to hear from you guys as well. I want you to tell me who you are in the chat. Some of you I know really well, we work together. Some of you I don't know as well. So tell me a little bit more about you in the chat. And I'm also going to explain how these 3 days are going to work. Now, you do get all the recordings as well on the replay as well. You will have a limited time for the recordings. They won't always be available forever, but it's going to be at least for the whole of July. You will have access to watch these on the replay. So I want you to put it into the chat. I want you to tell me one thing about you that I don't know. Put anything in, put something interesting in. I feel like sometimes that's a really hard thing, sometimes it's not. But let's get to know each other on another level. So the whole intention of this 3-day level up is for you to do exactly that. To step up each day, enter a whole new level each day. I wasn't kidding when I said we're going to be welcoming in you, insert your name, 2.0. Amazing. Oh, I love these. This is such an interesting, I never asked for something random like this, but I'm going to do this more because I like seeing these completely random things about you. So today is day number 1. We've got our second day tomorrow, third day on Wednesday. Same time tomorrow as today. Wednesday is an hour earlier. Just a heads up on that in case you're like, oofed. So the way the 3-day level up is going to work is each day we've got a different focus, and it's a slightly different vibe as well. So today's very much about grounding. It's about you feeling secure in who you are and where you are right now. Getting an idea of where we're going, although we're going to focus more on that tomorrow, stepping into that. But the biggest thing to move forward is we kind of have to let go of any visual or invisible chains that maybe have been holding us back or holding us down. Or the way I think of it in my mind is that I'm on a ship and the anchor's down, but you don't even know your anchor's down. Because maybe you pulled the anchor up and you're like, yeah, cool, let's go. Like, why are we not sailing at full speed? And actually, you've got another anchor and you didn't realise. So that's what I want to do today, is make any invisible anchors visible so that we can lift them, keep them lifted, and go full speed ahead. Love that. I've not practiced in many years. Is this your different interesting facts? Yeah. I love it. Karate, we got cats, we got vegan, we got coffee. That's very funny. I'm the opposite to you, Will. I love coffee. But I'm not an excessive amount of coffee, but I'm a bit of a coffee snob. Dan often makes a bit of a joke. But I do like coffee. I often have decaf though. But so today's session, as I said, is all about beliefs. But before we kick off into beliefs and reframing, yeah, I love one good cup of coffee a day. Yeah, oh, it's got to be a good coffee. It can't be bad. So before we dive into beliefs, like reframing any beliefs that are holding us back, any beliefs that have limits to put limits onto what you're capable of and what you can really do and how you can just absolutely fly. We're going to, I want to tell you that the surprise, so over the next 3 days, you are going to get a giveaway each day. So make sure, even if you don't win today, you share the graphic to your story again, because you'll be entered in every single day and it'll be your name will be pulled out. I'd done this once before and the same person won like 2 or 3 things because she posted so much. So it does pay off. And I know, Holly, you've won something before and you were like, I never win everything. So like definitely, you know, share, enter. So I'll be sharing the giveaway in a moment for today. And then at the end of the call is when I'm going to be sharing the surprise. And I'm really excited for today's one because it's something that you can literally A, be a part of, and B, it's an up level. It's very perfectly fitting into, you know, what we're doing here. And I want you to be a part of the up level of this specific thing inside of the Leading Lady world. But I'll share more about that towards the end. So our giveaway, drum roll, our giveaway winner for day 1. And the giveaway is, and the giveaway is going to change each day, it'll be something different each day. The giveaway is £50 credit towards any program or any program you choose to join, any paid course or program. The winner of the £50 gift voucher money off is Lorette. So congratulations, Lorette. That's really exciting. I will send you the info you need for that so that you've got it on record and how long you've got to spend it, what you can use it for, and everything like that. So that's really exciting. You're so welcome. Now let's dive in. Let's do this. So you don't want anyone knowing your comeback plans. Well, it's kind of like a little tease, isn't it? Like people never know. So let's dive in. This session is, I want you to be, no, of course not, Tallulah. I don't take it like that at all. I want you to be comfortable. I want you to feel like secure, to feel safe. If you can have your camera on, have it on. If right now you can't have your camera on, do not worry. And be as active in the chat as you can be. This is going to be more of a sort of a back and forth coaching energy type of session rather than me teaching you XYZ, because that's how we break through limiting beliefs. That's how we work through those things. And then, you know, the work isn't ever completely done, but I want to start that process so that then it's more a maintenance thing, or just kind of cracking into things. So first of all, in a nutshell, who are you? How do you identify? What do you do? Like if you were to write a short bio that's a couple of sentences about you, what would you say? And you can, you know, you can write these things down if you want to keep things to yourself. If you want to put it in the chat, if you want any thoughts or feedback on anything we're doing, then pop it into the chat. Who are you? How would you describe yourself? And this could literally be, my name is Gemma Barnes and I am a coach for women, leading ladies, and that want to step into the spotlight, that want to stand out, that want to be known, that want to become the celeb of their industry. It could be you're a mum and I love this, we'll just put it in there. Like, I would say that, you know, dog mum is part of my persona, although it's not in my Instagram bio. Amazing. Phenomenal leader, ma'am, a flamboyant, feminine, leading energy, overall nice person. Yes. Ooh, I like it. This is really tricky, as you might show up as different people in different situations. But who am I to me? A woman on a mission. Yeah, see, I love that. A woman on a mission. I think it's really important. Don't know why that accent came out. All of a sudden, I'm from another totally different place. I think it's really important to know, okay, this is how I see myself, or how I'd like the world to see me. Because if you don't know who you are, no one out there's going to know who you are. And when you think about people that are big in any industry, whether you're looking at coaches like, Tony Robbins is a great example, Gary Vee. You can look at people like Robin Williams. You can look at Johnny Depp. You can look at Brad Pitt. You can look at Jennifer Aniston. Like, they all have a very clear, Taylor Swift, Beyonce, like all these names are pinging into my head. They have a very clear image of who they are. And when they change that image or that identity, the way they want people to view them, i.e., Beyonce stepping into her country era, she made, excuse me, a very big shift. But she knew who she was because she decided, this is who I am. She decided. That's the key phrase there. Not anyone else telling her, this is who you are, this is who you should be. She said, this is who I am. I can almost bet, I will put money on the fact that she went to her producers and was like, yeah, I'm gonna create a country album. I bet they were like, you've lost your mind. Like, she's midlife crisis. What is going on? Like, what? Something's wrong with her. Somebody sent Beyonce to a psychiatrist. I bet they thought she was nuts. But because of who she is and the fact that she embodies every single thing she does and believes, everyone bought into it straight away. Everyone was like, what? Beyonce doing country? And then they're like, da, 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 da. I love this song. Like, literally 10 seconds earlier, they were like, what? So let's come back. I am an active mum of 3. I used to be an elementary school teacher and now a nutrition and wellness coach. I guide mums how to achieve consistent and high energy levels so that they can lead and be the example for their families. Yes, I love this, changing lives. I am that girl. I already like that. And everyone's faces light up when I'm brought into conversations or when I pass by on the streets of the West End. Ooh, I like it. I like it very much. Amazing. So you've got your kind of your who you are. Sorry if you can hear Gus barking. He is barking probably at somebody walking past. Who do you want to be? How do you want people to see you? Who do you want people to see you as? Is it literally what you've put in that short bio for yourself? Or do you want people to see more than, this is a woman on a mission? This is a mum of 3 that is a wellness nutrition coach. Like, how do you want people to see you, to know you? What do you want to be recognized for? A household name. Always, yeah, because always working. Love that. Ooh, a household name. Oh, I really like that. Love that. Hashtag a household name. That'll have to be your new hashtag. I like that. I'm even writing household name down in my notepad because that's great. An industry groundbreaker. Oof, yeah, I like it. It's a musical reference. Oh, it's a reference to a musical of You Upstairs. Oh, is it? I don't know that. How do you want people to see you? Like, some people want to be known as the one that breaks rules, that is a bit edgy. Yeah, I used to say to be known, but now I would say to be always someone who lived their truth. Yeah. So what does that mean for you, Holly? Can you expand on that anymore? What does it mean for you to live your, like, because from an outside perspective, and I know I kind of know you, but what do you want me to see and say? Like, if I was describing Holly, what would I say? Like, Will wants me to say, oh yeah, Will's a household name. He's always working, like contract to contract. He is booked out. Great, perfect. Loretta says, more than this, I'm a strong person who overcame a lot, and I believe that I have a greater purpose beyond what I am doing, but that will come out as I lead. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, yeah. And that's it. People look at you and say, Lorette's got, like, she has a greater purpose. She's a leader in what she does. And I know, Lorette, we kind of had this conversation on our call recently, you know, about the work you do is so important, because it's something that you can work with one generation or one woman, and that affects like generations to come. Like, you reprogram the way that whole generation works or believes or sees things in, you know, looking after themselves and their health and everything, which is massive, which is so big. %90 of the time, who you want to be is never that far off, or it's already who you are. You just don't see yourself as that person. Interestingly enough, there was a time a couple of years ago when I was walking along Oxford Street in central London with one of my friends, and we were walking past these like big department stores. There was lots of people around, like it's very, very busy, loads of tourists, loads of people shopping, and we were walking along, and I remember saying to her, like, I'd really love people to see me like this. I want people to like know who I am. I want to be the one that people go to because they trust me and they want an honest opinion. I just wish I was more of like a caring person. And she was like, what? She was like, you're actually the most caring person I know. And I was like, no. And I shrugged it off. And she said, everything that you say you want to be, she was like, you already are. So I kind of reiterate that to you. And I know a couple of you have heard me tell the story before of when I've asked Dan, like, what words would you use to describe me? And Dan, my partner, has responded like caring as the first one. And I was like, what? But actually, like, he was absolutely right. But sometimes you just don't see yourself the way that other people do, or you don't see yourself for how truly amazing you are. Yeah, living my truth would just be someone who is always authentic in every situation, whether that's being in performance or in day-to-day life. Yeah, so everything you do is authentic. Yeah. Yeah, I think I want to know as the I think I want to be known as the mother who paved the way for other mothers in a way I can't explain fully yet, but I have this inner knowing. Yeah. And like you said, you know, as you continue to lead and evolve, that will come. Like, even if you can't fully voice it now, it will continue to come the more you talk about it. I know that's something I do a lot. I will often hit like record on a voice note and just chat away to myself. Like, I think kind of that's my way maybe of journaling, because I'm not really a writer. I get really fed up with writing a lot. It hurts my hand. Like, I don't know how people write pages and pages and pages in journals. But for me, recording myself, voice notes is the way. Okay, next question. So we're starting off with a couple of questions because this is the best way to kind of get your things out on the table. So where are you holding yourself back? So this is kind of where you have to turn the mirror on yourself, be really real, be really honest with yourself, open with yourself, and ask, where are you holding yourself back right now? What is something that is keeping you stuck, that is keeping you afraid to stand out and not step in your spotlight? Yeah, I'm more authentic when I talk. When I write, I'm more critical about myself. Interesting. That's really good to know. I love talking to myself. So I'm a crazy person. Like, I think it's so useful to get your thoughts out of your head and down in front of you, but that doesn't necessarily have to be writing. So where are you holding yourself back right now? Where are you like, oh, this is what makes me feel discomfort, or this is what I'm afraid of, with relation to standing out and not actually fully stepping in the spotlight. Maybe you feel like you've got one foot in the spotlight, or you're kind of partly in the spotlight, but then part of you is shaded. Where are you in this moment right now holding yourself back? Or when you think this, you're literally confronted with nothing, absolutely nothing, then say that and we'll work through that. Because ultimately, if today we don't identify these things, start to move through these things, tomorrow when we're stepping into, a higher level of you, and the next day, you're still going to have that anchor pulling you down. And, as someone that has been a performer for years, everything I've done has been like a roller coaster up and down ride the entire time. And I've brought that along with me. That's been my anchor that currently right now I'm lifting. I know that life doesn't have to look like this all the time. So I want to get that out of my system completely and just be doing this, because it's so much more sustainable. This is amazing, but then these moments when you're down in the depths are such hard work to then pull yourself back up. So just a bit of transparency and honesty, bit of vulnerability from me right there. Like, that is, for me right now, that roller coaster ride mindset is a huge thing that I'm moving through right now, that I'm working on every single day. I sometimes feel that I am praised just because I'm always beating myself up over imperfections, and they want to put a bandage over my feelings. That's really interesting. That's really interesting. So, is there anything specifically that you think, this is where I'm not, like, are there any specific moments that stand out to you in that? Like, if you think back, if you look back to when you were a child, or when you were younger, Tallulah, that make you think, this is a moment where I wasn't good enough, and somebody said to me, oh, you're doing really well, but you could tell they were lying, or you thought, they don't mean that. Bill says, I'm the other way around to Lorette, not always fully present in the belief of myself. Yeah, okay. Again, Will, has there been any moments for you, particularly when you were younger, that give you reason to believe, like, oh, actually, this is why your belief in yourself kind of goes, yeah, I'm there, oh, I'm not, yeah, I'm there, no, I'm not? Or is it actually that you're underlying always thinking, like, am I good enough? Or does it go up and down? I feel like that all the time. Okay, so with this then, I would, whenever you find this happening, because if it's something that happens all the time anyway, when people are praising you, find the good within what you're doing, because it may just be that actually you're focusing way more on the things that are going wrong rather than focusing on any of the things going right. There's a coach I'm working with right now called Rebecca, and she's incredible. And there's a concept that she talks about that is you being thrown, or at every second, every moment of every day, you are having like thousands, millions of toothpicks thrown at you. Like, you know, the different colors of things, the trees around you, like the buildings outside your window, the color of the walls, like whether you've got a blind or a curtain, what's around you, if you have plants, if you have cups, if you know, what you're sitting on, whether it feels comfortable, is the temperature warm, is it cold, is it just right? Like, your brain is taking on 101 different things in one moment. The thousands of toothpicks that are being thrown at you, and your brain, based on your beliefs, will pick up the toothpicks that confirm what you already believe. I.e., I believe this notebook is black. So when I see this, my brain picks up the toothpick that goes black notepad. That's why your brain, like, it's the most amazing tool you have at your disposal, really, because it's doing so much in every moment, in every second. And in fact, I'm going to do a quick, before I come back to your Holly Lorette, before I come in to the chat with yours, I want to take you through an exercise. If any of you have done this before, go with it. I can't remember if I have ever done this before with you, but it's an exercise to show this as an example. So I want you to take a couple of like seconds, look around the room, and I want you to spot all of the brown things around you. Like, see all of the brown things, make note of every single brown thing around you, whether there's like loads of things that are different shades of brown, whether there's hardly any, whether you've got one thing in front of you or one thing in the room, or you're like, okay, well, I can see my own hair and that's brown. Like, clock all the things around you right now that are brown. Got them? Okay, close your eyes. Do not open your eyes. Keep your eyes closed. I want you to think. Don't open your eyes. I want you to think about how many red things you saw. Okay, open your eyes. How many red things are actually around you? Look around. Are there things that you didn't see when you were looking for the brown? Can you see red things that you're like, oh, I didn't even notice that was red? I mean, I'm looking on the screen now and I can tell you the little mute buttons that are on each of your faces, they're red, and I didn't notice them until I said the word red. Now, I bet some of the brown things that you said were brown, you made them brown to fit that brief. Like, maybe they're beige, kind of stone. They're not fully actually brown. I mean, I looked at the door over there, and just to give you a flash of the colour of the door, I mean, that's not brown, is it? But I made it brown. Do you see how your brain will, if you give it a direction, it tries to fulfill that brief? It's not taking in the red, the green, the blue, the everything else. It was purely searching for brown because that's what you set it on. I.e., or to kind of put that into the example and the point that I'm making here, if you are always looking for the negative, or you're thinking, oh, I didn't do very well, and that's why I'm being praised, they're only praising me because I'm not doing very well and they want to make me feel better, that's what your brain is focusing on. If you think, oh, I'm struggling right now, if you think, oh, things are really hard, or oh, nothing's happening for me, you know, it's hard to become known in my industry. Oh, it's hard to hold my promises to myself, to commit to myself and not make excuses. Well, yeah, it is, because that's where your energy is going. If your energy is being put into finding the brown, you'll miss the red. you're yeah, that is literally, I'm not even going any further on that because I feel like I can go down a rabbit hole with that. And I'm going to come back into the chat. So just be aware of the thoughts that are coming up for you. Be aware of how you speak to yourself, what you think to yourself, how you look at yourself and respond to yourself, and the beliefs and the feelings and the thoughts that you have with relation to that, because it will affect everything you do. Everything you do. And something that I've been doing really, or I've been very conscious of recently is, and something I've said forever, but I didn't really pay attention to my own saying really, is if I wouldn't say it to somebody else, why am I saying it to myself? Like if I put something, say I put a dress on and I'm like, oh God, that looks horrendous. Would I say that to a friend? No way, that's so mean. No, I wouldn't even think that about a friend. I'd be like, I think the other one suited you better, or I don't really like it, do you? I would be honest, but no way would I turn around and be like, oh my God, I look disgusting, get it off. Like, that's so rude. Same as, like, if whatever you're doing, where were you speaking to yourself like a piece of shit? And that's really bad. Don't do that. Kindness towards yourself, because if you wouldn't say it to anyone else, don't say it to you. I also think that with standards as well, like if you have a high standard for somebody else, like if you're not reaching the high standard yourself, like, I mean, a great example, is you're a real human being, yes, but like Lorette, I'm sure you don't go and have like cookies with every single meal, because that's not, we're talking health and wellness, like wellness and nutrition. There's zero nutritional value, just a little bit of happiness in the odd cookie here and there, but you wouldn't have it for every single meal. It's the exact same example, isn't it? You wouldn't say to a client, oh yeah, you can have a cookie with every single meal, that's fine. So why would you do that to yourself? I'm not saying you do that, but I'm using it as an extreme example because we can all see how that would work. I know I had this conversation with you last week, Will, about playing the trumpet. You were playing the trumpet and you were like, you were laying into yourself. And I was like, hold up a moment. Like, would you speak to your girlfriend that way if she was playing the trumpet? I'm pretty sure the answer is no. So why would you speak to yourself that way? Okay, TED Talk over. Let's go back in the chat. Yeah, I believed I was never good enough because I've been told so many times that I am not. It was said to me that you don't know how to build a business, make money, lead people. You are crazy to think you'll actually be successful. You don't know what you're doing, etc. One person in my life would say all of these things and more. I know I'm a good person and I look for evidence in my life. Yeah, that's it, looking for evidence. That all that stuff said about me is not true. Now it is proving it to myself as I grow my business. I invested in programs and mentorship that helped me a lot in growing my mindset and realizing that having unconditional love and respect for myself is key, 100%. The more you love you and respect you and admire you and look after you, the more you will be successful in absolutely anything you choose to do. I said it a little while back, and I know, Holly, this is something that really landed for you. You have to keep your promises to yourself. Like, if you are committed to you, that's all that matters. The moment you make excuses as to why you aren't doing something, that is a slippery slope. Like, can you keep your promises to yourself? Because they are the most important thing you can do. Because if you can't stay committed to you and yourself and love and appreciate yourself, how can you do that for anything else? It's like I've spoken before about the table being my health and everything else goes on top of the table. Like Gus is on the table, my noisy, barky dog that you always hear, that's really cute but really loud. Dan goes on the table, my house goes on the table, my family, my friends, my business, my loves, my dreams, everything is on the table. The table is my health. Like, if I don't look after me, you know, heaven forbid something happened to Gus, he would be taken off the table, but everything else still stands. Same with Dan, same with my house, same with all of those things on the table. But as soon as you remove the table, everything goes. I lose everything. I lose my dog, I lose my house, I lose my partner, I lose family, friends. Like, I can't look after any of them, and I can't you know, whether that be in a, like, keeping the dog alive, or in a, you know, keeping your relationship alive, keeping your house like funded, keeping, you know, you guys, my clients, and everyone, they're in the right mindset and accountable and moving forward. Like, I can't serve you if my health goes. And that comes down to like your brain as well. Like, health isn't just what you put in your mouth, what exercise you do. Like, your mental health, your mindset is so important as well. Okay, let's go back on a few of these. I think it stems to when in both Stagecoach and school, when gets reports, it being like, he's the most improved, most committed, yet always put to the side when they choose who to put in the spotlight, which made me feel lied to, and that lie still feels present. As well as this, all those people who have put me down growing up. Yeah. It's so good. That's such good self-awareness, though, Will, like, knowing, okay, this is the place, this is the spot, because that, once we've identified that, we can move forward from that, which we're going to do some bits in a moment. Let's jump back. I make excuses for showing up in different ways, time commitment, etc. But now I have a plan and I'm following through. I love that. My content is shifting and my live energy is the best way I can show up and be very clear on my mission. Yes, that is so good. That is so good. And you know what, Lorette, as well, from a from a more strategic standpoint, the clients that you're working with and want to be working with more are mums. So they totally get it as well, if you have to put being a mum first on certain days or on certain occasions. So I think that's really, that's, again, like, great self-awareness. Okay, Holly, essentially trying to control the outcome and someone else's decision, and trying to do things the right way when the only way is to do it your way, whatever that may be. Your way will work for the right purpose. Let the future go. I think it's important to be in the present. Yeah, I feel like you're in such a different place, Holly. It makes me smile so much. I feel like you're in such a different place in the last like month or two. Like, pennies have been dropping left, right, and centre. Everything's clicking into place, and it's making sense. And I kind of feel like, so I've talked before about, some people are in the spotlight, but they don't realize they're facing the wrong way. Like, I feel like you have always been in the spotlight, but the spotlight's here behind you, and you're just not stood in it. Like, you're in the dark, you're in the shadow, and there's a person stood there in the spotlight blocking you, and now you've gone, oh, hang on, spotlight's there, and you're like, here we go, feeling the warmth of the spotlight on your face, like, now we're here. Now this feels right. 100%. Yeah, I used to put everyone else's needs before mine, and in the past 7 years, all of this changed because I am important, and if I don't take care of myself, how can I show up as my best for others? Yeah, it's that continuous conversation, isn't it, of like, you have to put everyone else first. Like, you actually don't. You need to put yourself first, put your health first, and then look after everybody else. I've told the like aeroplane safety, like, oxygen mask thing story 1,000 times. I sometimes oh, where am I? Let me add that one in. Okay, so one thing before we move into like reframing and looking at these beliefs from a different angle is, because this will allow you to stand in the spotlight more securely, rather than be like, I'm in it, I'm out of it, which, like I was saying, is that roller coaster thing. It's the performer in me going, I've booked a job, I don't have a job and I'm struggling. I've booked a job happens, oh, now I'm back to struggling. That doesn't need to be the case. You can build that sustainability. Even if you're in that industry, you can build a more sustainable, like healthier, less intense on your nervous system way of life. But this also allows you to go, I'm comfortable, I'm happy to stand out, I feel safe being seen by people, whether you're on a stage in front of millions, whether you're on a screen in front of, thousands, whatever it is. So your beliefs, the things that you believe about you, about society, about absolutely everything, even down to, I believe this book is black on the outside. All of those things will control your feelings. So your beliefs, if you believe that the world is, that the world is full of bad people and there's not good around you, if you believe that you can't do what you love and make money, that's one of my beliefs for so many years. You can't do what you love and make good money. You will fulfill those prophecies. Whatever you believe will affect your feelings, and your feelings, your emotions, affect your action or your inaction, which is even stronger than your action, which will then affect your life. Your actions or your inactions affect what your life looks like. But knowing those things, I think, is so incredibly powerful. Beliefs control feelings. Feelings control your action or inaction, and your action or inaction controls your life. So let's see if you can kind of self-diagnose. I want to raise your awareness, as I'm basically giving you the tools rather than doing this for you, because you'll then be able to run with it after this call and not be like, oh, well, Gemma holds the key. Like, I'm giving you the key and teaching you how to use it. So you've kind of already said about your beliefs, right, and how it makes you feel. So let's put it more straightforward. What is the belief? Type it into the chat. What is your belief and how does it make you feel? So whatever the belief is, feelings. We're going to do this for negative and positive. So something, maybe one you've already put in, or if there's something else you want to put, more of a negative or darker emotion, and then something lighter, positive emotion. We're going to work through both sides so you can see how it works, because this doesn't just work with bad things. Like, I believe that everything is always working out for me. So when I am stuck in traffic, the traffic miraculously clears and I get to where I want to go on time, because I've got that belief. Whereas I'm sure if I thought the world was out to get me, that traffic would not clear, I would be late, I would not be very happy, I'd be in a really bad mood when I get there and my life would end. Like, really dramatic. So it all stems from your beliefs. You hold a lot more power than you think you do, very often. Okay, so belief is, they're just saying this because I am always critical. Feeling is then self-pity. Is that correct? Not putting myself forward for the bigger roles, then is the action. The inaction is not putting yourself forward. Lacking self-confidence to do this in the future is then what life looks like. That is literally so well done there, Tallulah. Nailed it. So now let's do a positive one, so you can see how this works in the other way. It doesn't just work in a negative, it works in a positive too. So a positive, that's not a word, a positive belief that you have. It might be that your mum's always there for you. It might be that you're like I said, you know, everything always works out for you. It might be that, you know, I know something for me is I believe that every client that comes to work with me is someone I love working with. And lo and behold, every single client that comes to work with me, I love working with, because I've set that up. I've set that up from the top as a belief. So if you look at it from like a you know, becoming known in your industry thing, like if your belief is, oh yes, I can, the belief is I'm going to come to that in 2 seconds. The belief is I can be incredibly successful doing what I love doing in front of thousands of people, have a really big impact. That is going to control your feelings. You're going to feel empowered. That empowerment is going to give you the fire, really. That empowerment is going to be the reason you go and you take action on selling out shows, selling out programs, going online, going on screen, going on stage, doing a killer performance of whatever it is you do. And then that affects or controls what your life looks like. Your life then looks like selling out shows, impacting thousands, having a big audience, doing what you love doing. Okay, that I'm lied to about being talented and a nice person, that's the belief. Therefore, letting my mind take over a lot less than it used to be, yeah, before working together. Okay, so let's do this together. That's your belief, that you're being lied to about being talented, that you're not good enough, basically, is the belief. I'm not good enough is the belief, which makes you feel, put a word in the chat. How does it make you feel? Shit, yeah. And then feeling shit controls your action or your inaction. So what do you then do or not do because you feel shit? This could be like, I don't practice, I don't show up for myself, like I make excuses, I don't practice or do chores, which not practicing, not doing your chores controls what your life looks like, which is then potentially not booking a job, not being on stage, but working a muggle job instead. But let's flip it and do the other way around. So so believing that you are good enough to be, you know, consistently performing in a lead role makes you feel uplifted, gratitude, confident, adrenaline, which controls your actions. What actions would you take if you feel uplifted, if you feel full of gratitude, if you feel confident, if you feel adrenaline? You're putting yourself out there, right? You're showing up for yourself. You're committed to yourself. Yeah, tend to post more on socials, go out on dog walks, treat myself. Yeah, which your life looks better because you showed up for yourself. Yeah, yeah. Do you see how clearly this works both ways and how important your beliefs are? I think it's only when you put it down on paper that you're like, oh, like, it really matters how I see myself or what I believe about the world. Okay, it doesn't matter if I get things wrong. Rehearsal is a part of the creative process. That's the belief. You feel more open. Yeah. You allow yourself to make mistakes, and then having a growth mindset and being able to healthily reflect on each rehearsal without the inner critic being harsh. Yeah, a much more healthy, happy rehearsal environment. Perfect. That's really great. Okay, let's look at yours, Lorette. So, I still struggle with the belief that what I offer will not replace my salary. This makes me doubt. Yeah, so self-doubt is the belief. However, I know it is a thought, and I am not stopping because what I offer is incredibly helpful and valuable. Yeah, and I know Holly's put love in all these positive affirmations at the end of your thoughts. This is literally what I do whenever I'm working through any beliefs. I find it very challenging to focus purely on the one belief. One belief. Because I do the same thing. I'm like, oh, I doubt myself. But I know that that's nonsense. Because personally, and Lorette, you're very similar to this, I have done the work to go, okay, well, these beliefs are just they're little people inside my head. I think of it like Inside Out. They're the little people inside my head, but Gemma doesn't think those things. Gemma, that isn't Gemma thinking. They're the little beliefs that we can work on, and we can calm them down, and we can be like, okay, well, do you know what? You might be feeling this way, but remember all of these incredible things you have done, or remember what you are going to do. I'm very clear on like looking ahead and like, this is where we're going, because it is helpful. It does give you clarity. Okay, let's go outside of the box. Yeah, it feels really miserable here, but we're taking it up like positive. Reframing. I'm too old, worthless, not trying, and then never move forward. I'm too scared, fearful, not trying, playing in the safe lane. I'm not liked by the gatekeepers, which makes you dislike yourself. You avoid situations that involve them, and then you never audition or try. Yeah. So this is really, these are so clear, right? But when you read those back, Holly, question for you, do you actually believe them? They're absolute BS, right? Like absolute nonsense. They're just those little like things that it's like the devil on your shoulder. And then I've got some clients that are like, when I go out on stage or I go into auditions, I have you on one shoulder. It's like the devil on your shoulder telling you things that are completely not true. Completely not true. So what I want you to do right now is look at the negative belief, or one of the negative beliefs that you put down. I want you to say it out loud, and I want you to go, no, that is completely untrue. So my wellness and nutrition coaching business will not replace my salary. That is completely untrue. Completely untrue. Yeah, mine is bullshit, Tallulah says. Exactly. Like absolute lies. But that's what these beliefs do to try and keep you. They're trying to keep you safe, because ultimately, if you don't go and take action, or you don't leave where you are, you can't put yourself in danger or be confronted with more self-doubt, confronted with any of these things that you maybe don't want to do. But it's so easy to open these up and go, but what if I did make more money than I make in my salary job, to like when I'm coaching mums in nutrition and wellness? What if I'm not too old? And actually, the gatekeepers of the industry just don't know me. And when they do know me, they'll fall in love with me like everybody else does. What if I am really talented and people aren't lying to me. Well, every single dream I have of being a leading man on stage is going to happen. What if what if I don't? What if I think I am good? What if I don't and what if I'm not super critical of myself and I don't feel bad for myself? And actually, like, that would mean that I put myself up for bigger things and actually book bigger things, and then be more confident and book even bigger things, and then become even more confident and book even bigger things. And that's literally how it becomes, like a roll down a hill. And that's all you have to be the one that, rather than going into the darkness, turning round away from your spotlight, actually turning and facing the spotlight and rolling with it. Yes, that reframe. I can feel it in my veins. This is why I'm going all in. And you cannot, this was my best friend's ringtone for months. She's changed it now, but for months, you cannot go all in and not succeed. You cannot go all in and not succeed and not completely fly. Because when you're all in, you're committed to you. You're in that, but what if this happens? What if this happens? Oh, I can handle that. I can handle that. It's those thoughts of, I'm exactly where I need to be now. I'm feeling more confident and I'm stepping forward and I'm going to be successful too. And do you see how actually like Holly, you said it there, that's my response to being too old. As someone that is a similar age to you, I have also, and no matter what age you are, I feel like you can think that. Like, I look at myself and I'm like, how in holy hell do I think that I'm too old? There is literally nothing that old about me. It's just an old mindset thing of thinking, oh, well, once you're over 30, you're old. Like, that's nonsense. And I know, Lorette, you're sat there like, Lorette's got children, like, she is she's living. But I'm sure that's a thought that no matter what age you are, I know when I started singing and dancing at 13, I thought, am I too old? Have I missed my chance? I was 13. But it's because everyone else I surrounded myself with had been doing ballet and tap and whatever since they were 3. Did they go into the industry? No, none of them did. One of them became a dance teacher, but none of the rest went into the industry, the performing arts industry. So it just shows how completely irrelevant any of that is. Any of that is. Yes, I needed to hear that. Making it is inevitable with going all in. The only way you won't succeed is if you decide, oh, I'm not going to succeed. If you say, oh, well, I just won't do that today. Excuses. If you find an excuse as to why you can't do something, it's like, isn't it, if you're like, similar to me, I'm not a lover of going to the gym. I like getting outside. I like exploring. I like adventure. I like doing things, but I don't love going to the gym. So trying to get myself to the gym would be really hard work. But the gym's not the goal. Being healthy is the goal. And there are other ways, there are other vehicles to get me to the goal. Same as if I wanted to get from here to the next town, I can walk, I could cycle, dangerous, but I could get in the car, I could get a bus, I could get a train. I probably couldn't get a flight to the next town unless we're just, rolling along the tarmac. Same with a boat, unless I live, on the water. But you see how there's multiple ways of getting there. You just choose which way you get there. And that's once you've made the decision, I'm going all in, I am doing it, you then just decide which way. But once you've said, I've decided I'm doing this, I'm going all in, you then can't sit back and go, okay, well, now how do I decide what way? Like, don't get stuck in that non-movement again. You have to get moving. You have to go again. If you start walking and you decide, actually, do you know what, it's too far to the next town, I'm going to jump on a bike. Do that. Jump on an electric bike, even easier. Oh, I'm going to get in the car instead. And then you realize there's traffic and you go, no, I'm going to go back home and I'm going to walk because it's not that far. You can change how you get to somewhere. You can change how you get from where you are now to the end destination at any point, as long as you still decide to keep going. And sometimes you do take a step back to take 10 steps forward. Sometimes you take 5 steps back to take 1 step forward. Sometimes you go diagonal. Sometimes you go in a circle before you literally sprint to the finish line. But as long as you're committed to you, you dedicate. Yeah, you're dedicated. Full stop. That's it. That's ultimately the only thing that matters. You deciding, I'm going all in. I feel like I haven't been productive today, but I've catched up on the magic. Yeah, great, on the magic program. Great. Attended this, had lunch, and going to a dog walk before heading on the bike to dress rehearsals tonight. And I've gone over lines to clean up notes from a director. Yeah, Holly said, sounds good to me. And isn't that interesting? You're like, oh, I don't feel like I've been very proactive. And then you're like, I've done this, like, and all of those things better you as a human. Not one of those things is you didn't say, I feel like I haven't been proactive today. I made an excuse as to why I shouldn't do this. I made an excuse as to why I shouldn't do that. Like, you didn't. So that's nonsense. You have been proactive today, really proactive. Yeah. Holly says, yeah, I've been on the Circle Line for years. Need to catch the Piccadilly and cross right through the middle. So, Lorette, I know you're not in. You're not. Have you been? I don't know if you've been to London, Lorette, but the Circle Line is one of our tube lines, and it goes all the way around London. It just goes in a circle. So you could get on it and just keep going round. And then there's other lines. The Piccadilly is one of them that goes like straight. It goes from like, well, it kind of goes from north to west. Like, it kind of goes through London. So that's what Holly's talking about there. The train, the tube lines. Yeah, you've been to London. Oh, so you get it. Well, for anyone that's watching the replay that's like, I'm not from London, I've never been, I don't know what you're talking about. now you know. Yeah. But it's never at any point have you said like, oh, I'm not doing this, I'm giving up. Like, you've literally just said, okay, well, you know what, I've been doing this route for ages, this isn't working for me anymore, I want to change and I want to do this. But that again is you saying, I'm all in, I'm committing to me. So I'd love you to sort of close this out a bit. I'd love you to put one thing in the chat. I don't know why I sat on the circle for so long in the first place. Yeah. But sometimes that's just what happens. Like, we get on this. It just takes a person, and for you it was me, to pop up on the Circle Line and be like, what the fuck are you doing? For you to get off and get on the right line. So I want you to put one thing into the chat that you're going to take away from today about yourself. And it can be, I'm all in, or I know that I'm going to make it work no matter what. I know that even if I'm not on the right vehicle or heading in the right direction, I can redivert. Whatever it is, I want you to put one thing, or if there's more than one, you can put more than one. But I want you to put one thing that you're going to take away and remember from this chat. I'm going to work on my self-concept. Yeah. And what do you want your self-concept to be, Tallulah? so we know what you're working towards. Confident and self-assured. Perfect. Growth mindset. That bitch, I love it. I love it. Perfect. I'm going to work on telling any negativity and negative energy to F off. Yes. Do you see how as well, like when you get this empowerment as well, you're like, all of a sudden we're like taking over the world. I feel like I should be playing Eminem or something right now, like just completely going for it. Because you do, you're like, I am done with this nonsense. And I'm doing it. So, whilst you're putting in your last couple of bits, adding anything else in there, the surprise for today, we've gone a little bit over time, so apologies, I'll make it quick. The surprise for today is that we are relaunching, re-updating the podcast. So it's currently the Leading Lady podcast. However, what I would love you to do, and I'm going to open this out on Instagram eventually, but I wanted you guys to have this first, is suggest some names that you feel would be great for the podcast. So this is your bio for your inspiration, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to like take a look at everything, because obviously the reason I do the podcast is for you. So I want to open it out to you, any ideas you have, any thoughts you have, what you feel like, oh, I would love it to be called this, then I'm taking suggestions. So this is the new rebrand of the podcast. So it's going to be featuring one of my spotlight photos, and then we'll have the name underneath. I can show you it actually. Let me share my screen. It says new name at the moment. It doesn't have the actual name to it. Where are we? Oh, it's closed out. It was open, but it's fine. We'll open it back up. Oh, it's this one. Yeah, so it will say, obviously, whatever the name is, it will say that there. But this is going to be the image. This will be like the graphic for it, and then we're deciding on the name over the next few weeks, or the next week. If someone drops something and I'm like, oh, that's it, then yeah. But I wanted you to be a part of it, which is why I have opened it up to your interpretation too. So what the bio is going to say, so that this gives you an idea, because we are taking it in a slightly different direction, is, do you want to become the one who is famous? Everyone knows your name. You're booked out doing the work you love. Inside of this podcast, oh, I love that, the Empower Hour, says Holly, I'm going to pull back the curtain on what it really takes to be someone who's in the spotlight and help you uncover the reasons why you've been standing in the shadows. So that's your inspiration. But as I said, I am going to share it on Instagram as well. So if you want to, I'll make it so that you're able to respond with any thoughts. But yeah, the Icons Club. Oh, I like it. All these different ideas and names coming up. Oh, I love it. I have a pull to do a podcast soon. Lorette, you should do it. The Leading Lady Level Up. Oh yeah, that would be nice. I like that. I love it. Okay, let's come back to these. So that I will succeed no matter what I am showing. Hold on, let me say that properly. That I will succeed no matter what, as I am showing up more boldly and listening to my inner voice when I have ideas for my business and getting them out. Yeah, like literally get them out to the world. Done. Because then that's a step up, isn't it? And then you'll just keep stepping up. It's those little step ups that create huge growth. I'm taking action this afternoon. Yes, there's a declaration. I love it. I had an online audition today after a very long time, and I felt incredibly motivated, whatever the outcome, because rejection is redirection. Yes. So I'm going to direct myself to everything now and see which door opens for me. Yeah, I like it. I really like it. Another reason for me to move so I can come share on your podcast and vice versa. Yes. The Leading Transformation podcast, the Up Level. Oh, I'm liking all these ideas. I love it. Amazing. So that is today's call over and out. Tomorrow, we are going to be focusing on celebrity status and mindset. And I know some people have this like, oh, around the word celebrity or around fame. They are not bad things, they are tools. So if you can be the celebrity of your industry, you can be the, famous in your industry, you are making life easier for yourself. So we're going to be diving into what that looks like, what that status is, what it gives you, and the mindset you need to be able to hold that energy, because it's different to how you just, sat at home chilling. It's different to anything that you are doing majority of the time. So I will see you tomorrow, which we will be doing another giveaway for. So all you got to do is share the graphic, even if it's like the ones where I've tagged you and said like welcome to the 3-day or whatever. You can reshare that, and that was an entry. So just go ahead, share the image, and you can win tomorrow's, and each day the prizes are getting bigger. So I'm excited. Awesome. Lorette says, I love today. Thank you, Gemma. Looking forward to tomorrow. Wonderful. All right. I will see you guys tomorrow for day 2 for, celebrity status and mindset. All right. I will see you there. Bye.